Hi guys, this is the Gossip Kitchen and this is your boy Pharaoh. ACL, anterior cruciate ligament in footballers. Yes, ACL injury is the most serious and career impacting injury you can sustain as a footballer. Its implication ranges from medical recovery, physical performance, psychological state, and your market value. Yes, that is why it is the most serious and career impacting injury you can sustain. We call it the nightmare of athletes. Yes. So, number one, the medical recovery. ACL can last between 6 months to 12 months. That's if you're lucky. Sometimes it goes beyond 1 year. So there's also a risk of reoccurrence. Another ACL could happen on the same knee. It happens on the knee, the front part of the knee. Anterior means front, and the ligaments. Anterior cruciate. This is the ligaments that holds the knee together. So you can imagine what role this ligament plays on sports men and women. So it has the tendency of recurring. Sometimes it doesn't come back on the same knee, it goes to the other knee, because sometimes the player tend to adjust their posture and positioning in order not to impact on the recovering knee, thereby straining the other knee, and the other knee is then at a high risk of going into the same injury. So then we talk about the physical performances. This player tends to reduce the speed, the agility, the sharp turns you do as a sports person. All this reduces because of the fear that they might bring back the injury. So it tends to reduce the player's performance, physical performances, especially the speed, acceleration, the burst, like the explosiveness you get in forward players, especially. Forward players, I mean here, wingers, strikers, and sometimes fullbacks. So, but the defenders tend to manage this injury properly more than the forward players, because defenders, you don't really need the explosiveness or the speed you get. So we have defenders who go through ACL and come back and still do well. So, but unfortunately for the forward players, you tend to use these ligaments and muscles quite often. And then we'll talk about the psychological state of mind, the fear. The fear that this is going to bring you back, this injury is going to come back, this injury is going to ruin your career. Before you know it, you see yourself being too clinical, being too careful, trying not to overstretch a tackle, trying not to overstretch your leg to block a shot, trying not to compete so. The competitiveness, the competitive spirit in you tend to lose it. The duels, you lose duels, you lose 1v1 defense because of fear. So it comes in you, it affects you, it makes you below expectation. Maybe you were a player who was performing at 75% before your injury, and this will bring you down to maybe 45 or 48 or 50%, depends. Some players get ACL injury and come back and manage it properly. Some players get an ACL injury, come back, get another ACL injury, go back and come back again. So it all depends in your personal circumstances, your physical recovery, your mental recovery, and your market value as well affects. So the last point is it affects your market value. So your market value goes down, where clubs tend to see you at high risk, and then they tend to say, okay, we're not going to pay so amount, we're going to pay so amount because you're at risk of going off injured. So they tend to reduce your wages, Yes, the negotiation goes on and lingers. They tend to reduce your wages, and then they add some clauses based on performances. If you perform so well, we pay you so amount. If you don't perform so well, we are not obliged to pay you this amount. So they include some clauses just because of this injury. So sometimes it can be frustrating for a footballer, especially if you're a footballer who's at your prime, who is still competing at a high level. So sometimes this affects the player and can take the player into depression. So these are all the challenges a player goes through when they sustain this injury. Yes, my support goes to my brother, Victor Boniface. Yes, his deal has just been terminated. The deal that was meant to go through from Bayer Leverkusen to AC Milan because of his medical examination. Yes, he had ACL twice. Yes, and that is the worry the San Siro club raised. So they decided not to carry on with this deal because of this high risk on player. The player was meant to go on a loan transfer from Bayer Leverkusen on a €5 million deal and option to buy of €24 million. There are so many decisions that happen behind closed doors, so many decision makers in the club. They must have weighed the risk and everything. Some people will say, oh, he's just going on a loan. He could play the loan, €5 million. If he doesn't perform very well, because it's like testing. You test him on this loan deal. You test him to see if he's going to perform well, if the injury is going to come back. Then you can say, okay, no, we're not going to sign him, or we're going to sign him. So yes, we can't really tell what really happened behind closed doors. And then Boniface is going to go back to his former club, Bayer Leverkusen, and he's going to contribute this season with his club. Yes, and we wish him all the best. It's just an unfortunate situation that could happen to anybody. Nobody knows when an injury could come. These are all the risks involved in the sports. Yes, and also we've got players who had ACL injuries and came back and performed properly, performed at their best as well. We have players like Alessandro Del Piero. Yes, we have players like Ruud van Nistelrooy. Yes, we have players like Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Yes, we've got players who actually performed very well after ACL injury. And this is still Gossip Kitchen, amigos. I hope you enjoy your day. I hope you enjoy your week. Stay safe out there. Cheers, amigos. Adios.